This is Monocle on Design Extra. It's a short show to accompany our weekly programme where we discuss everything from architecture and craft to furniture and graphic design. I'm Maylie Evans. Public toilets are a necessity, but are scarcely found across London. They've been disappearing at a rapid rate, and so the chances of finding one that is clean and fit for purpose, as well as inspiring and perhaps a little artistic too, are slim. But this trend has been reversed by the London Borough of Westminster. The first of 8 upgraded public conveniences has been recently unveiled, boasting high design standards and new public artwork to boot, thanks to the assembled team involved. Monocle's Francesca Gilks went along to the Victoria Embankment to meet the architect and artist behind the new designs.
The Victorian architect John Ruskin said, "The measure of any civilization is its cities, and a measure of a city's greatness is to be found in the quality of its public spaces, its parks, and its squares." While we're used to applying this lofty idea to a city's parks and museums, it's no less true of its public toilets. Just down the street on Embankment, the first of Westminster's new facilities has just opened. I met the architect, Hugh Broughton, to learn of the origins of the project.
We were initially really inspired by the investment in public toilets made by the Victorians, and there's a specific site, the public toilets in Rothsay on the Isle of Bute, which are just amazing tiled spaces with beautiful ceramic washhand basins, urinals, toilets and so on. I guess we were also inspired by looking around the world and seeing what people were doing more recently in terms of investment in public toilets. The most famous example is the Tokyo Toilet Project, where there's a whole series of different toilets designed by different well-known Japanese architects. People now walk around Tokyo going from one toilet to the other to admire the architecture. But, in other cities, New York, in Paris, in Berlin, we were seeing, again, investment in public toilets to make them more robust, longer lasting, and just higher quality.
The majority of London's public toilets were built by the Victorians in 1824. And since the turn of the 21st century, investment in public facilities has trickled away. Almost 2,000 toilets closed down across the UK between 2006 and 2016. In this context, the flush investment of £12.7 million by the Westminster Council in the new facilities is a welcome surprise.
Is it also a reflection of a change in attitude to public realm that the Westminster should decide to invest so significantly in the programme? So it wasn't just the pure pragmatic requirement of refurbishing sort of old and outdated facilities. It was the fact of taking joy in refurbishing old and outdated facilities to provide something which is actually enjoyable and contributes to the environment. Toilets are a basic requirement of all of us, and the fact that people might be able to go to the Westminster toilets, that they might actually obviously find relief, but also find them enjoyable, that there could be an element of sort of charm about visiting each of the sites, and that there was a sense that the council really cared about your experience, cared about the environment, and that was demonstrated within the design of each one of the sites. I found that very enlivening and exciting.
I wanted to know whether Hugh had been inspired by historical approaches to design as well as to public life.
I think that this is something that exercises me quite a bit, actually, just generally about architecture of the moment. And it's this idea that in the past, perhaps we designed things to last longer with a greater sense of civic purpose, and that to some degree we have lost that in design through desires for expediency or excessive economic efficiency, and that the Victorians had a greater sense of things lasting for longer, of designing things for not only this generation but future generations.
The Embankment sees almost 90,000 visitors every day, so architecture here must be built to be durable. Before taking on the Westminster Toilet Project, Hugh designed in some of the harshest environments on the globe. from the Halley Research Centre in the Antarctic to a health facility on the world's most remote island, Tristan da Cunha. He explained how extreme resilience could be designed into the Westminster project.
As you can imagine, people do some pretty awful things in public toilets, and you want to try and design out as many of those as you possibly can. Our architecture is all about consistency between the sites, so the same cubicle design, the same toilet specification, the same wash-hand basins, so that as you move between them you recognise, oh yeah, Westminster public toilet, but also from a maintenance perspective that we know that those specifications are proven and durable, and that the team who look after them can move from site to site and know exactly how to look after them.
Also part of the team was James Lambert, an artist who has created designs for Liberty, the V&A, the British Fashion Council and the Royal College of Art. He was recruited by Hugh's team to create the tiles that adorn the facility's walls. To find inspiration, James told me he had looked to the work of Edward Paolozzi. The Scottish pop artist created the dazzlingly colourful mosaics that have adorned the walls of the Tottenham Court Tube station since 1986.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Paolozzi, who's a tiling genius and has many tile spaces in London, so he was a kind of point of interest for me. So too were many of the tile spaces on the Underground, so there's kind of reference to some of the, well, I kind of see it as being in conversation with many kind of spaces within London as well. I like the idea of the toilets having an element of surprise, or there being something unexpected, so I don't know whether I necessarily see them as being traditionally beautiful, although I hope aspects of them are. This idea of it being unexpected and there being a narrative, or going around a corner and kind of being surprised by something, or kind of discovering something behind a door, or just having those little moments of joy, I think, yeah, was really important for me.
The story of the London public toilet begins with a piece of ingenious design by the Victorian George Jennings, the inventor of the first public flush toilets. He named them the Monkey Closets and unveiled them at the Great Exhibition at Hyde Park in 1851, during which over 800,000 visitors came to use them. I wanted to know where Hugh's project was going next, and whether he expected a similarly appreciative public.
When all 8 sites are complete, I'm hoping that James is going to produce this really beautiful booklet all about each of the sites and what the art of each site means and how they're connected to the other sites, and that people, combined with that booklet, might actually do a kind of crazy walking tour between the public toilets of Westminster, because they're all in such amazing places, and to get from one to the other you walk past so many other amazing London sites. It would actually be a slightly quirky but quite fun day or evening out.
Through a combination of resilient architecture and a commitment to charm in public design, the Westminster Toilets project may continue to relieve and bewitch its visitors in the capital for generations to come. For Monocle, I'm Francesca Gilks.
Thank you, Francesca. That's all for this week. If you're eager for more design stories, then listen to our main programme, Monocle on Design, airing on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. London time. Or if you prefer print, pick up a copy of Monocle magazine. It's available on all good newsstands now. Today's episode was produced by me, Maylee Evans. Thank you very much for listening.